Why are you not using LinkedIn to generate more leads and grow your business? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you the exact strategy that I've used to actually find the right people, generate leads, have conversations with decision makers, and get them into your sales process so you can sign them as new clients. I know exactly what it's like you're looking at other businesses, your competitors, and you're seeing them actually putting out content, leveraging the platform to sign new clients and gain visibility. But you're just not sure about how you can use the platform to your advantage to actually grow your business. So if that sounds like you, just stick around because I'm going to go through it step by step and give you the blueprint so you can use this in your business without spending a penny on ads or spending your entire life on the platform. Before I jump into that, I make these videos for business owners who want to get more clients, make more money, and grow their business. So if that is you, if you're a business owner, click subscribe so that you can get more videos like this showing you exactly how you can do that. Okay, so let's jump into the video. So you are a business owner. You want to get more leads, and you know that LinkedIn is the best place, or one of the best places, for you to actually do that. If you're selling a service to other businesses, LinkedIn is one of the best platforms, if not the best platform, that you can leverage for free to generate leads, find the right people to sell to, and then pull those people through into your sales process. But you are just not using it. You're looking at the platform every day. You're seeing people actually, put content out there and leverage it. However, you're not too sure what to post, when to post, how to find the right people. And therefore, you just don't, right? You just sort of say, I don't know how to use it. I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm not going to. Or if you are someone who is putting out content, maybe you're just not getting that much engagement on your content, or just your ideal clients are not interacting with it, and therefore you feel like it's just a little bit of a waste of time. What I see most of the time is people don't have an outreach strategy. Now, fancy words, but essentially what I'm talking about is just a way to find the right people, get them into their funnel so they're looking at their content, being warmed up, becoming top of mind, and then actually reaching out to those people on a regular basis to build a bit of rapport and then get them into conversations where you can talk about the services that you provide. So what I'm just going to quickly run through is a couple of strategies, a few ways that you can actually find the right people, get them to be more engaged with what it is that you're selling, and then have conversations with them to push them into the funnel. So the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about is content. And this is one of the things that most people say to me is, Ashley, I just don't know what to post. I go to the platform, I see other people using it, but I just have no idea what to post. Now, I have posted consistently on LinkedIn for the past 5 years plus, and I never have a problem with what content I actually put out there. And I hear you, Ashley, that's good for you, but how do I do the same thing? Well, what I have is 3 content buckets. Now, those 3 content buckets are simply personal, so about me, business, so things about the business and what I actually do, and then mindset, and a couple of topics that fall under that. Now, in these 3 major buckets, what I have is 5 content pillars. So these are smaller topics that I know a lot about, or I like to talk about, that kind of sit underneath these key headings. So for example, under personal, it could be family, it could be fitness, whatever. They're things that I feel really confident talking about, and ultimately they're just my opinion. They're just things that I'm doing on a regular basis, a little bit about my personal life. It's things that build some personal brand. In my previous business, I had to go and meet clients quite a lot face to face, and one of the things that I heard all of the time from those clients was that they felt like they knew me. And that was because I was putting out content, I was showing a little bit kind of behind the curtain and building a bit of personal brand. And that's exactly what you want to do. You want to make people feel like they know you. And the way that you do that is by posting things in that bucket of personal content. So family, fitness. Now, by the way, you don't have to post up about personal issues or family things or whatever. It can be whatever you want, but just things that are not business related, not around those sort of topics. It's just showing a bit about yourself. And the second one there was business. Now, this should be easy for you because it's just talking about what you do, the problems that you solve, the things that you see. If you are someone who obviously owns a business, you may want to talk about things like leadership and employing members of staff. Like for me, I talk a lot about strategy and systems because that's what we do. But ultimately, it's just what you provide in your business. And again, just pick 5 things. Don't overcomplicate this. Just 5 key headings that you can talk about really comfortably. And the last one was mindset. So for myself, I've got topics in there like motivation and consistency because they're things that I preach all of the time. So I can write a post pretty easily about motivation and how to be consistent and how to do the work. So again, it's just picking 5 topics that you can comfortably write about. Now, so with those like 15 content pillars, you then have a huge amount of content that you can make that will cover you for 3, 4, 5 weeks even. If you also sprinkle in there a few client results and testimonials and reviews, as well as a few bottom of funnel posts that ultimately are converting people, then you have an awful lot of content that you can actually post, and you're probably going to remove that problem of I don't know what to post. Now, when it comes to actually writing that content, a top tip here is make it easy to read, make it easy to understand. So one of the things that I do is I will write a sentence and then I'll hit the enter button or spacebar, whatever, twice, so that you're kind of paragraphing every single sentence. Don't write in long paragraphs and chunks of text, just nice, easy sentences that make it easy on the eye, easy to read. Use things like bullet points and lists and emojis in there as well, just so you break up the text. Nobody wants to go onto LinkedIn and read an article of a post. It should be bullet pointed, it should be in sentence format, it should be really nice and easy to digest. Now, the next part of the strategy is actually connecting with your ICP, your ideal clients. Now, the easiest way to do that is use LinkedIn's search function. LinkedIn, even in its free version, has some fantastic search filters that you can use to find the exact person that you want to talk to. And going even further than this, in that search function, you can use what we call a Boolean search. Now, a Boolean search is essentially having different headings or topics or search functions and searching them at the same time. So an example of this would be if you are looking for managing directors of finance-based companies. Okay, just as an example, you type in the search bar at the top, managing director, in inverted commas, in speech marks, and then in capitals you write and. So managing director and then in inverted commas again, you can write finance. And then you can hit enter, and then obviously you can then filter down with locations, country, all those sorts of things. Now, doing that is one element, and then what you need to do from there is just connect with as many of those people as you possibly can. LinkedIn will cap you at a certain amount per week, and that will depend on whether you're premium, you've got Sales Navigator, you just use the free version, but you can connect with an awful lot of people every single week. You have to max out your connections every single week. And what that will do is it will get those people looking at the content that you're posting, getting to understand a little bit about you and the business and other bits and pieces that you actually post content about. It will also get them to see your review content that you're posting and also your bottom of funnel content that you're putting out there. And what that is doing is keeping you top of mind, right? Now, top of mind essentially means that when this person thinks of the thing that you do, you come up. Right? You are the person who is the first person that they think of because they're always seeing your content. And that's essentially what your content is doing. It's just nurturing the people that you connect with so that when we plug in the next part of the strategy, that you are someone who is familiar. They've seen your face, they've seen your content, they know what you're about, and ultimately it just makes that conversion process a little bit easier. So moving on to the next part of the strategy, which is outreach. Now, outreach, again, is kind of what it says on the tin. What we need to do is, with the ideal clients that we've connected with and that have been warmed up and you're now top of mind because they've seen your content, we need to send them a message. The problem that we see all of the time on LinkedIn is that people just send direct sales messages pitching immediately in the DMs. Now, I don't know about you, but that really pisses me off when I just get a message through that is just a pitch. And normally you kind of unconnect those people because clearly they just don't want to bring any value at all. Now, we don't want to be in that category of person and people on LinkedIn. What we want to do is actually just strike up a normal conversation. Now, this can be anywhere from, hi, thanks for connecting. I see that you do X, Y, and Z, and then you sort of lead into a question from there. It could be around some content that they've recently liked of yours. So for example, if they've liked something or commented on a recent piece of content, you can literally jump in the message and just say like, hey, hi John, thanks for liking my recent content. Like, what was it that sparked your interest, or what was it that caught your eye? Okay, just to kind of start a conversation, just to actually get the conversation flowing in the first place. Now, what we have is a bank of messages, because it can be really difficult to every single conversation just think of something new and come up with a way to transition from point A to point B. So we have a bank of messages which essentially are openers, so like opening lines, and they would be kind of what I've just said there. It's like either thanks for liking this, or thanks for connecting. But then what we need to do is lead into like rapport building, and again we would just use like our pre-written bank of messages so that we don't have to come up with new rapport building lines every single conversation, and we can just really like copy and paste those and then tweak them to fit the conversation that you're having. Like rapport building, we just transition that conversation into talking about what it is that you actually do. Again, like we just use our bank of questions that we can just like insert, and then obviously there's a level of like customization. You need to make it actually fit the conversation, but like it does most of the work for us, right? We insert that transitional statement, make a couple of edits to that like couple of sentences or sentence, so that we can transition the conversation over into what we do, or at least like the problems that they may be having around the thing that we do. Now, ultimately, by doing that, what we're doing is qualifying the prospect, the ideal client. What we want to hear is that they've got some sort of pain, or they've been thinking about the service that we actually provide, and that there is potentially a need for what it is that we actually do. Now, if they do, we call this a qualified prospect. This is someone who fits into that ICP. You've had a bit of a conversation to do some rapport building, and there is a pain, there's a problem, there's something there that they're struggling with that you could solve. Now, this is really going to depend on the service that you provide as to whether or not like that pain is something that immediately needs solving, or whether it's just something that you begin to start talking about, having conversations about. Again, like that really does depend on whether your service is like more of an immediate fix, or whether it's like a longer drawn out service. So for example here, like I used to have a cleaning business. It's a commercial cleaning business. And typically what we found was that people were in contracts. So as much as we could try to like sell that service, 9 times out of 10 people had a contract in place that they just weren't that happy with. So starting the conversation, building the rapport, transitioning over to like, hey, what do you do at the moment around this subject? Then identifying that they may have some sort of problem and that they're not happy with, but they can't do anything about it immediately. We would then just drive through to get them into the next step, which would be having a meeting, have a proper discovery conversation to see when that contract is in place, until what we can do in the meantime. Can we provide them some prices? Can we get something in place ready so that when that contract expires, we are there ready to pick it up? And really, depending on your service, will depend on what those conversations look like. But essentially, what we are doing is opening up that conversation, building some rapport, transitioning the conversation through to, hey, this is what we do. Have you, what do you do around this? Or have you got problems in this area? And then booking the next steps, which we call our CTAs, our call to actions, which is, okay, it sounds like you've got problem A and problem B. I think that we can actually help with those. Shall we have a conversation? Shall we have a meeting? Shall I come and see you? And that is your call to action. So if you can do that, that is where we can actually pull those leads through and get them into that like bottom part of your sales process. Now, essentially, if we can build all of this together, right, we've got a bit of a system around how we can use LinkedIn to actually grow our business. First, we need to connect with the right people, connect with your ICPs on a regular basis and max out your connection requests. Then we want to put out content. Now, I'd always advise putting out a piece of content every single day so you're nurturing those prospects so that you are top of mind. Then we need to engage. So that's commenting on other people's posts, that's liking other people's posts, trying to be in the conversations where our decision makers are, where our ideal clients are. And then lastly, we send out our DMs, right? We send out our outreach so that we're actually in the inbox of the right people, trying to get them converted into further conversations. So the best way that we can really get all this together is just set yourself targets. Now, I'm a big fan of tracking data and looking at like inputs versus outputs. I'm not going to go into that in this video, but if you can just set yourself targets on a daily basis of the number of those elements of that system that you need to do, you're going to see progress over time. So for example, you may set yourself a target of connecting with 25 ideal clients every single day. And then you want to set yourself a target of posting one piece of content every single day. Then it may be that you go and comment or like 20 pieces of other people's content that are kind of in the same area that your ideal clients are looking at. And then you may want to send 20 outreach messages every single day. Now, these are not like hard and fast targets. Like you can set these dependent on your skill set, your time, you know, all of those things. It could be an industry thing as well. But ultimately, having a target, hitting the target every single day and having that like consistency will be the thing that actually gets you the results over time. I see so often that business owners do this like for 3 days, 4 days, maybe even a week. And they come back to me and say, like, well, Ashley, like this isn't really working. Like I'm not really converting any leads. But it's the consistency over time, right? It's knowing that the efforts that you put in today will be the results that you actually harvest in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 months, 6 months time, depending on your business and your industry and like your sales process. But the consistency now will deliver the results later. So just simply by connecting with the right people, putting out content so you're top of mind, engaging with other pieces of content in the right area and sending those DMs, okay? And again, going through that process of like connection message, then building the rapport, then transitioning through, and then that call to action to get them into the funnel will be the things that grow your business from LinkedIn. And you may be listening to this thinking like, I'm trying this right now, and it's just not working. It's probably the last thing that I talked about, which is that consistency over time that will get you the results. Trust me, like this is what I did in my business. We signed over like £700,000 in contracts just from LinkedIn. From the stuff that I've talked about today, right, is what signed us like over £700,000 just from the platform. So I know that it works. And there's people out there that have done way more than that than myself. Like this stuff works. So hopefully this video has been really useful for you. If you have any questions about LinkedIn, please put them in the comments here, or over at Strategy One, that's what we teach. Okay, one of the systems that we teach and get set up for you is the LinkedIn system. So in the description, if you want to learn a little bit more about what we do and how we help business owners, there's a link to Strategy One. You can check that out, and if it's interesting, you can book a call with us from there. But for now, that is everything for this video. Very quickly, obviously, I make these videos for business owners who want to get more clients, make more money, grow their business. So if you're a business owner, you want to do any of those things, click subscribe so that you can get more of this content to hopefully help you do those things. For now, guys, thank you very much for tuning into the video. I really appreciate it, and I will see you on the next one.